Yeah, and here I am with another project to vent on. Because the last one ain't do the numbers that I want. And I ain't get no satisfaction from the outcome. My brother said don't lose your purpose.
Welcome to A Husband's Perspective, powered by Elevated Bachelor, the podcast where we talk about various topics such as marriage, manhood, sports, TV, movies, and more while we walk the journey of becoming the best husbands we can be. My name is Dr. Chib, and I'll be your host. Let's be clear, I'm not a therapist, a counselor, or a pastor. I'm just a husband learning as I go, doing my best to build a marriage that's full of understanding, growth, and love. And if that sounds like a journey that you're on too, then you're in the right place. This podcast isn't about having all the answers. It's about figuring things out together. So join the conversation, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's walk this road of being great husbands side by side. This space is built for husbands and those aspiring to be husbands, to share your thoughts, ideas, stories, and your perspectives on life to further encourage you to become who you're supposed to be within your marriage and to continue to strengthen your marriage as well. Now, there's some expectations that we have to lay out, that you should expect from us, right? As we dive into this conversation, expect honesty, transparency, and positivity. The honesty is important. We're trying to build trust with you, and to build that, so we're gonna give you the realness. Like, no, we're not holding it back. We're gonna let you know what it is. And any guests that come onto the podcast, we expect them to do the same exact thing. Transparency, we got to be clear, right? To build trust with for this community, and within this community, we have to be transparent in our positions. So if there's any biases that we may hold or anything that's informing our thoughts, we should make that clear, right? So people know exactly where we're coming from when we're putting something out. And then the last thing is positivity. This world is full of negativity. Let me tell you that. Right? We are under attack on different angles. And so if you're looking for negativity, that drama, all this other stuff, there's plenty of other platforms, spaces that you can get that from. Right? But we're going to speak positive. Things we'll speak on, some of it will be controversial, but we're going to look at the positivity of that position, when we bring some of those things out. But all in all, we are here to uplift people. Right? To embolden you, to challenge us to be better. And that's positive. Positive is not always kumbaya, we good. It's not always that. Positive has to be tied into growth as well. And to grow, we have to get uncomfortable. So that's what we mean by positivity. It's the good stuff in terms of like the stuff that's easy to consume, but it's also going to be the tough stuff, the things that challenge us that we have to grow. All of that is positivity. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? Let me introduce you to why this podcast exists. It exists for a multitude of reasons. The first one is because of how I got married. When I got married, I didn't get married in the traditional sense, right? I've been married for a little over 4 years now. I'm young in the game. If I was a pro athlete, I'd be a veteran, but I'm not. I'm still young in the game. But even in the small number of years I've been married, I've experienced a lot of things. But I also realize I don't have all the answers and I don't have all the information. And I want to learn from different people's perspectives, their stories, so I can be a better husband. I love being a husband. I love my wife. She's the wife of my dreams. I prayed for her before I knew I prayed for her. And now that I have her, I ain't letting her go. All right. And that means I have to improve upon myself. So that's one of the reasons. Number two, during the time of my wedding, people who came didn't know it was a wedding. Right? It was a little bit of a surprise. I'll tell y'all those story in the future about how we got married, but they didn't know we were getting married when they were coming to the event. It was the less than a year after COVID, right? When COVID was really going crazy. It was less than a year after that we were inviting people to come for a celebration of our engagement. Now, with that being said, my fraternity brother came from DC to Alabama for this wedding, which he didn't know about. And he told me something on the phone while he was driving there. He said, Chip, I think something amazing is going to happen today. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I know something amazing is going to happen today. I'm caught off guard because I'm thinking to myself, how he figure out it was a wedding? Because I ain't tell nobody. I ain't drop any hints, nothing. So how'd he figure it out? So I just kept my mouth shut and said, man, what do you mean? And he said, before I left the house, my grandma said to me, the devil will work harder when you're close to God's glory. And he said, that's all she said to me. And then I just dipped. And I said to him, okay. And he said, yeah. And the crazy thing is, bro, on the way here, I was having issues. And I almost couldn't make it. Then number two, Dez, and Dez is actually our other fraternity brother, you know, his car broke down while he was driving to the airport. So now he's stranded on the side of the road and he's got to figure out alternate transportation in order to get to this wedding. He's not going to make it on time, right? And then on my end, I'm talking about Dr. Chib right now. I was also thinking about the fact that I had other issues going on. I was always almost going to say no at the altar. And why? I'll talk about that in the future. But in that time when I was struggling, and he told me these words, the devil will work harder when you are closer to God's glory. And that's all his grandmother said to him. And he gave me that message. That meant everything to me. Why? Because it gave me the grounding. It refocused me to continue on the path that I'm on. That is the righteous path, that I was going down the right path that God wants for me. And when I was at the altar, I remember God saying to me, don't worry about anything. I will handle it. Marry her. I remember it so clearly. And I had that conviction and I married her. And I tell you, at the altar, I was so nervous because all I could think about was how I can fail this woman. She's so beautiful. To me, she's perfect. But I'm not. I'm not good enough. I'm going to fail her. Right. And I see the beauty, the innocence. I see the way God has made her. And I don't want to be the reason that taints her, that brings her down in any position the way that I see her. And so all that was going in through me. I don't want to fail my wife, right? This is my ride or die. I don't want to fail her. So I almost said I don't, right? But I said I do. And in my marriage, I'm telling y'all, I didn't have the before I got married, I didn't have the support system that I needed to encourage me along the way. But in my marriage, the only thing I regret in getting married is the fact that I didn't do it sooner. It's the most beautiful gift that God has ever given me, other than my life, honestly. And so I'm truly overjoyed by it. And that's why this space is needed, because these are stories I never heard. I didn't have a great role model for a husband. So I did have to observe other men and how they moved with their wives and learn and take the good from them little by little and try to improve myself, right? And that's what led to this space. I realized, okay, I was learning from them. So if we bring men to this space and share their stories, those who may not have that support system, may not have those great examples, you can find it here. All right. And it's gonna be real and raw. Right. And so now I'm excited because we're pushing forward in a space where the honesty is going to come out, the truth and new perspectives are going to come out. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. All right. And so, like I said before, we're going to keep the negativity out. There's plenty of it in the world, right? We don't need it in our relationships. When you let that negativity creep in, right? I truly believe that's where the devil is trying to attack and separate that family. We're stronger together than we ever will be apart. That's just a fact. The human body is a great example of that. The brain is the most powerful organ, I believe, in the human body. And with all its power and greatness, it's nothing without all the other parts of the body coming together and playing their roles. So that's why I believe unification is one of the most important things we can ever do in our lives. And if anyone has ever played a team sport and anyone's ever been on a good team, you know the beauty that comes when it feels like everybody's firing on all cylinders, right? And if you've been on a bad team, you know how destructive it is when everybody's not working together well, right? So this is the space for you all. This is our first episode. It's an introduction to who we are, why we are, right? And side note, we are powered by a company called Elevated Bachelor. It is a company that we started, right? And it came from a funny idea. I'll be honest with y'all. Elevated Bachelor was just about, what if we can celebrate husbands a little bit more during their time of getting married, the way that, we celebrate, the wives. We know it feels like it's around the world, but it's like when it's wedding time, it's really the woman's time. And it feels like there's a disconnect. Like the husband's here too, like we get married too. I want a little celebration for myself, you feel me? And we just say, what is a cool way to kind of honor the husband, celebrate them and have fun with them, when you're getting married. It's a lot of times people think, oh man, you getting married, man, you gonna be able to get all these girls, man. You're gonna be single, man. You off the streets, man. Like, yo, how you gonna do it only one woman for the rest of your life? Bro, do you understand how many emotions women have? Do you understand the ups and downs of dealing with one. I don't know how people have side chicks and this and that. I don't know how y'all deal with it. That's these are precious people, and I can't juggle them. They not circus creatures to be juggled. I like one. I keep to one. I'm good. And so for those of us who have that maturity that understands one is an abundance. All right, it's more than enough, man. This jersey is for you because you understood I'm ready to get married. All that stuff about, one person forever. Yes, thank you. I'll take that one. I got other things I got to do. This one is perfect. That's my partner. And so we made these jerseys. Let me show y'all a little example here. So this is one of the jerseys that we made. I don't know if y'all can see it. This is our Tinseltown Blue edition. Right here in the front, we got elevated. Let me see if the camera can get it. But we got Elevated Bachelor in the front. There we go. Got Elevated Bachelor in the front, right? Beautiful blue color. And then on the back, we got a number, right? The number represents the year you got married. So this one is 25. That's for those who got married in the year 2025. All right. And the name on the shirt is your persona. So we got these things called personas, right? So you the lone wolf. The lone wolf is the person who always knew there was only one woman for them, right? And so they was like, I'm waiting for that one woman. I'm gonna get her. That one and done, like those who go to the league, that's my NBA after just 1 year, the one and dones. Those are the people who know, hey, I know the mission. I know where I'm going. I'm gonna get there. So that's the lone wolf. That represents that. So it's a sports theme. It's an apparel-based company where we just celebrate you. And the idea was really you wear the jersey to let people know that you are now on team married. And then you also frame the jersey to let people know that to kind of like hang it up and it's a beautiful decor piece in your man cave, your office, or wherever you want to put it. Just gonna let people know like I'm proud to be married, right? And so for those of us who are proud, we rep these jerseys with that pride. This was our first version, honestly. So this was one of our OG versions that we created, and we've been testing these styles and the material out for a while because we wanted to get y'all the best material when we launched it. And so then, let me tell y'all, then we got this is the final version. So the idea is when you get the jersey, you will frame it. So like this is one of our frame jerseys. It's the same thing, the Lone Wolf edition. All right. Beautiful color. Like the color in this one is much more rich than the other one that I was showing you. I can even pull them up and give you like a little comparison so y'all can see. And we've been putting the work for y'all. So if you can see the difference in the color of that blue, that's a much more rich blue. That's the royal blue we were looking for. That was the royal blue we were looking for. And now we caught it. So this is what, for those of you who order, you go to elevatedbachelor.com. This is what, if you order, you'll get yours. It'll look just like this. You're not going to get the frame. You got to buy the frame separately, but it's on our website as well. But the whole idea is to celebrate husbands. And so the podcast, this is the last point. The podcast came to be because, the team said, okay, we can sell the jerseys and that's nice. And they're beautiful and it reps that you married, you're on team married now, you're up in the big leagues. But can we create a space that's continuous, that also continues to pour into the men, into these husbands, right? Where they don't got to pay nothing for it. It's just you just come, you listen, and you get that encouragement. Can we create a space for that as well? And that's what we did, right? And that's why this podcast had to come to fruition because we needed to create that space for us. All right. So if you're excited about it, if you got ideas, thoughts, things that you think we should talk about, topics, whatever it may be, hit us up in the comments. Follow our channel, Elevated Bachelor. All right. And this is the podcast from a husband's perspective. My name is Dr. Chip, and I'll be your host. And don't forget to live elevated.